Hello my dear students, welcome back. Today I am here with a new chapter from your syllabus, and this chapter actually very that last part we have read at the beginning and in the first chapters when we have read Earth as a planet, and we have seen that Earth is having basically three main domains or three realms. These three realms we have seen: hydrosphere, lithosphere and atmosphere. So hydrosphere we have done in the chapter the tides and ocean currents, and lithosphere you will read later on, and then atmosphere, that this part we are going to start. So what is the topic of today's discussion? That composition and structure of the atmosphere. Is it clear? So here students, first hydrosphere, that is the liquid state of earth, then lithosphere, that is the solid state of the earth, and here atmosphere, which is the concern of today's topic, that is the gaseous state of the earth. So what is atmosphere? First we have to know the definition of atmosphere. It is just like a very thin layer of air surrounding the earth as a blanket. Okay, like a blanket, it is surrounding the earth, and that is basically known as atmosphere. And this thin layer, this atmosphere, the air is having different other contents or different other particles within that. It may be dust, it can be water vapor, it can be different gases. So that later on we will get to know the composition. Okay, so first some characteristic of the atmosphere I am going to tell. I have written that it is colorless, tasteless and odorless. Obviously we can't smell that any of the air unless there is any kind of other things is adding the smell to that. Then it is colorless, we can't see that air is having any kind of color is not there. Then tasteless, obviously no taste there. It is mobile, it is having actually movement, that's why it is mobile. Then elastic, it can expand in that and when the temperature also increase, it can expand. And it is compressible, means we can change its volume also. Okay, then we do not feel its presence. Obviously if you are using any fans or any kind of that kind of thing or electronic gadgets at your home, which from there you are feeling the movement of the air, but stop that and switch off that, then you will feel that you can't feel the presence of the air. But when there will be horizontal movement, it can be not only in your room, it outside also. If the movement of the air will not be there, you can't feel that. Okay, so the horizontal movement of the air, it is known as wind. The horizontal movement of the air, that is called wind. Another most important thing, that like other things, like any of that things of that we can say that land or the surface of the earth, that atmosphere or the air also is having weight, and this weight, it exerts or basically it creates the pressure, and this pressure exerts on the surface of the earth, and which it is called the atmospheric pressure. You might have heard in different basically whenever we used to talk about the weather forecast, that time we used to say today's weather pressure is like that, or atmospheric pressure like this. It is basically measured by the unit of millibar. Okay, so over that sea or at the sea level, the atmospheric pressure 1031 millibar it used to say, and here these are the different characteristics of the atmosphere. Okay, now I am going to tell you about the composition of the atmosphere. Now students, here composition of the atmosphere, see how that actually in that atmosphere it comprises of different kind of gases. Okay, and from the surface of the earth towards that 10,000 kilometer at the height, gradually the density of that atmosphere, it gradually become thin and thinner. Okay, so when we will reach to the higher altitude, that totally it will become vacuum. But here at that lower layer of the atmosphere, or that near to the surface of the earth, The main that composition we will see like this way. Here a pie diagram, it is showing the maximum portion, that is the 79%, which comprises of nitrogen gas. Okay, then rest next 21%, that it is comprised of oxygen gas. So main here we are getting to see these oxygen and nitrogen are the dominating gas in the lower layer of the atmosphere, and then this blue color is showing other gases. Here other gases I have only shown that percentage of carbon dioxide 0.33% and argon 0.93%, but except these gases, helium, neon, xenon and this kind of other gases also present, but these are very less. We can say that very it means less percentage we can see in this atmospheric layer. But helium and hydrogen gas we will get to see at that exosphere layer, which is just it means at the higher altitude or from that atmospheric layer, the top layer, we will get to see where it will become more thinner, the density of the air. In that case, the lighter or the rarefied gases we will see like that hydrogen and helium. Now students, I have just shown the comprising of different gases which form the atmosphere, or in the atmosphere we have seen the percentage of that that nitrogen and oxygen gas that dominate in the lower layer, as well as with these gases we already have seen that the different other gases, argon, neon, helium, xenon, as well as dust and water vapor also present in this atmospheric layer. But this density how it basically, when the different particles, different gases which is mixed in that atmosphere, it gradually decrease towards higher altitude. It means that the lower that altitude, the density of the gases always will be more than the higher altitude. Okay, so here students, according to the density of the gases, that the main two layer we will see here, homosphere and heterosphere. So what is the meaning of homosphere? So the term homo means equal. The term homo means equal or same. It means that in this layer 0 to 80 kilometer, the particles, the gases or whatever that components present in this layer, they will be same from 0 to 80 kilometer height. And this layer, it also has been divided into 3 layers according to their height, according to their characteristic has been divided. First, troposphere. Troposphere 0 to 12 kilometer. Again I have written, or 0 to 18 kilometer. Why I have written this? Already in the first chapter, Earth as a planet, I have explained that the shape of the Earth is oblate sphere. Oblate sphere means the pole will be flat and the equator part, the middle part, it will be bulge. So whenever the atmosphere it is surrounding the Earth, then we will see the height of this atmosphere, it will also be changed. You are getting to see here at the pole, North Pole, at the South Pole, the tropospheric layer, it will be hardly 9 to 10 kilometer from the ground or from the Earth's surface. But at that equator, it will differ. It will be sometime 12 kilometers, 0 to 12 kilometers, sometime it can be 0 to 18 kilometer. Average that distance that taken 12 kilometer, but it can be vary. Okay, next stratosphere. Stratosphere, it is 18 to 50 kilometer just above this tropospheric layer. And then number 3, mesosphere, 50 to 80 kilometer. Here when we will discuss in the next part about the structure of the layers of the atmosphere, then I will discuss all the characteristics of these layers. Next, another main division is heterosphere. Hetero means that different, or we can say that it is not equal. Okay, so in above this homosphere, 80 kilometer above till 10,000 kilometer, gradually the that composition of the atmosphere, it totally changed. whatever in this homosphere we have seen the domination of nitrogen and oxygen gas, it was maximum and rest gases were very less. But when we will reach this heterosphere layer, we will see the amount or the percentage of nitrogen and oxygen, it will gradually decrease, and the domination of helium and hydrogen gas will be maximum, because these are the rarefied gases or lighter weighted gases. Okay, so this layer mainly having the thermosphere layer, and this thermosphere again has been divided into ionosphere and exosphere. Ionosphere and exosphere. Okay, this ionosphere layer which also extend 80 to 480 kilometer, and here it is very important by this name you will get to understand why it is ionosphere, due to presence of ions or atoms. And then next is exosphere, which is known as the vacuum, where only the rarefied gases helium and hydrogen present, that is 480 to 10,000 kilometer. And then now students, we will get to know right now that the importance of major gases which comprising of that atmosphere, the main four gases, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and argon, how what are their importance on the life of or the living beings on this earth. Okay, so first nitrogen. We all know that nitrogen is a neutral gas, and it very that easily or it never easily that enter any of the that chemical union. Okay, but it is having importance in the plant's life. We all know that through that ammonification process that the soil it become fertile. But how it is happening? When the roots of the soil roots of the plants, they absorb the nitrogen from the air, then through that ammonification or nitrogen fixation process they can increase the fertility of the soil. Even some of the special crops are there, or the plants are there, like which are known as leguminous crop, like some pulses which are having some special capacity to do that nitrogen fixation and ammonification by their roots, by the rhizobium bacteria. You might have read in your biology also. Here next, that even we will see that oxygen, it is just opposite. Easily it can react with any of that, easily it can enter any of the chemical union. Here this oxygen, without that we never can think about the life on this earth. In the first chapter we have talked about that only, that among these 8 planets of the solar system only earth is having life existence due to this presence of that gas. Okay, if this oxygen will not be there, the living being can't survive for a single minute. And this oxygen we can get from the plants, where the plants are depending on the nitrogen. Okay, so here this oxygen also helping in weathering process. You know that there are some chemical weathering, oxidation, carbonation, like this kind of chemical weathering are there. So in this oxidation process, it also helps to break the rocks. Okay, so oxygen, even we can say it is combustible. Wherever there some fire is there, if it is just exposing to the oxygen, then the fire can be more devastating, more destructing, even more area can be burned up and fire up. So here oxygen we have just got to know. Next, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, you know that it is known as the greenhouse gases. Greenhouse, it is known as greenhouse gas. Why it is known as greenhouse gas? We all know that in the hilly areas where there is very less temperature, there people used to make this kind of glass houses, and when they do that, some floriculture, horticulture, for growing of flowering plants or production of the fruits, they try to increase the temperature in this house. How? When from the sun the radiation, it reached to that these glass houses by short length wave, then it reflects definitely after that. but when it reflecting it become long length wave, and it can't enter or go above this that glass, that room, glass house. So that's why that this house or the glass house, it trap the heat, and the temperature it increase in this glass house. So easily the conditions or the temperature it becomes suitable for growing of that this kind of plants, that is known as actually greenhouse. From this concept, this concept is used for atmosphere also, because in the atmosphere this carbon dioxide and some other gases also present which trap the heat from the sun. When the radiation it is reaching to the ground, after that reflecting this kind of gases, it is absorbing the heat and it is trapping the heat, and it is reflecting the radiation, basically it is preventing the reflective radiation of the sun. And due to that the earth basically this carbon dioxide gas it keeps it warm. Otherwise if this kind of radiation it will be totally reflected, there will be no carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases, so the planet will be totally a cold planet. Okay, another very important point is there. We all know in the photosynthesis process that a plant, by the help of their chlorophyll of their that mesophyll cell, and on their leaves they used to absorb that carbon dioxide from the air, and they also absorb water by their roots at the presence of sunlight, and they form that C6H12O6, that is known as glucose. This glucose, when they are forming, that is this process known as the photosynthesis. And if this photosynthesis process will not be there, we will not get even another on also it is doing, that is oxygen formation. So oxygen it is emitting by this photosynthesis process to that air. That's why we are surviving, as well as whenever they are making they are producing this glucose, due to that we are getting food from these plants, we are getting vegetables. Okay, so this is the another importance of carbon dioxide. Argon, which basically used in the industrial sectors, in that chemical factories. Okay, so here main these four gases, how they are playing playing a very vital role on the human life or this earth. I think you have understood. So students, I think you have understood that the composition of the atmosphere, and they are basically the main importance of these four gases which are present in that lower layer of the atmosphere. Next day we will talk about in the next part of this video, where I will discuss about the structure. So stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you, and be with me.